This is us in St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Hello, welcome to Phoenix, where we discuss the latest technology that we've developed in order to fight the evil dead man. Today's topic, we'll be discussing Remix Formation. That's right, Remix Formation allows Kamen Rider Revice and Kamen Rider Vice to combine their powers in order to create a new, more powerful form. However, their hearts need to be completely synchronized, and they need to maintain a formation that allows them to have an effective transformation. With that said, let's power up and fight the dead man. Hey guys, welcome to Rider Time Podcast. I am your host, TimeRider Zero, and today we will be discussing none other than Kamen Rider Revice, Episode 5, Rider of Reformation. Who is the traitor? So guys, let me know what you guys think of the episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it could improve a few things? Does it need a bit of Jim Cornetting? What do you think of what's going to happen next? Are you excited for the next episode? Let us know in the comments. In the meantime, just some really exciting announcements. Guess what I got yesterday? Finally, 15 years of waiting. I finally got Metroid Dread, and I got one of my favorite Rangers as a lightning figure. And I have to say, this figure is very buttery. But yeah, unfortunately, my host could not make it. He's got stuff to do. Probably find out who the traitor is in the squad. And in the meantime, I'm holding down the fort. And so here we go. Let's get started. So the episode starts off with Hiromi, which used to be a commander at Phoenix, but is now demoted to a squad leader. He enters the containment unit where they store all of their Vice stamps, and he seemingly manages to take two of them, the Gorilla Vice stamp and the Lion Vice stamp, which I guess wasn't stolen yet. And the last moment we see him before the opening sequence is that the Lion Vice stamp was handed over to a teenager. With some very Logan Paul vibes. Let's just put it like that. So skipping the intro, the bathhouse is having a special where people can come in and express their grievances, and Icky can help them out in any way he possibly can. And they get a lot of traffic, surprisingly enough, but unfortunately, there's way too many people, so they have to drive them out. Meanwhile, at Phoenix, George expresses his incredible disappointment that they finally have 10 Vice stamps, which honestly for me kind of kills the whole Kamen Rider, kills the whole Kamen Rider Saber thing, where it's like, oh, we need to find 10 Vice stamps, but now they pretty much confirmed that they indeed already have 10 Vice stamps, which honestly takes a little bit of the fun out of the first 13-ish episodes of Revice for me. But okay, let's get going. And of course, given the amount of security clearance required in order to obtain those Vice stamps, we know that whoever stole them had to have been a member of Phoenix. And of course, George gives Hiromi a look as if he kind of knows that it might be him. Meanwhile, there's only one customer left at the bathhouse, and he needs Icky to help him because his grandson is being a delinquent. So he's a blogger with severe. Let's just say he deserves a spot in our not safe for work podcast. Let's put it like that, where he tries to boastfully enter a high security office building And of course, when security tried to kick him out, he's like, "Hey, look, all the security is trying to kick me out. Isn't that great?" And of course, he uses the line Vicem to summon his dead man. And of course, the three members of Dead Man are confused. Who gave this kid this Vice Temp? And of course, Olteca, Julio, and Aguilera both all confirm that none of them have ever given this kid a Vice Temp. This has to have been someone else. But let's watch and see what happens. So of course, everyone runs out, and the Dead Man manages to find the CEO of this company, and of course he comes with the complaint that he's making all the workers work overtime and they're not getting adequately paid, and he tries to the excuse that they're in a recession. And of course, me having a full-time job now, it's kind of if you write a contract to your employees, you cannot force them to work overtime without pay. There is a law where, well, at least in the United States, we do have a law that says that if you do make people work overtime, you do have to reimburse them at a rate of 1.5 times their regular hourly wage. So if you're in a recession, maybe let go of a few workers, maybe have them work fewer hours, but put in the extra work as best as possible. Either way, there's it's a topic I'm not going to go too far into, but I'm pretty sure there are other ways to work around it that doesn't make you look like a scumbag. But anyways, so of course Icky and Vice show up, and of course they start chasing after the lying dead man. And Icky tells Logan Paul, "Hey man, you can't be trying to save the world this way. All you're doing is actually hurting people. For example, your grandpa, he's very upset and he's worried about your health and safety." So the two writers managed to fight off the monster, and I love the synchronicity in their work. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. And of course they managed to defeat him at first, but it summons a bunch of miniature henchmen. But using their finishing move, they managed to defeat him. Of course, Fennec show up to apprehend Logan Paul, but his grandpa says, "Listen, kid, I love you, but you should not be going out and causing all this trouble. Have some monju. I just want you to come back home." And of course, he's like, "Okay, Grandpa, I won't be causing all this terrible shenanigans again." So all's well that ends well. But the episode only ends this only is halfway into the episode. So let's continue. So of course, the three heads of Dead Men are disappointed that the lying Dead Man was defeated so easily, and its contract holder doesn't really want to do much more in terms of causing calamities. So, but they do recognize that Kamen Rider Revi and Kamen Rider Vice are a huge nuisance to their plans to summon Gifu. So they realize there is one way that they could fight him off, and it's to take advantage of his one true weakness. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Sakura is spending time with her mom, and of course, she seems really high strung, and the mom tells her, "Listen, take it easy. Don't worry too much. I know Icky and Daiji are hard at work, and you're not doing much of anything in that regard, but you should relax and let them take care of it." And I'm thinking, please let Sakura become a writer. Please, I beg of you. Please make Sakura a Kamen Rider. You have no idea how much I want this. Because, look, again, I'm going to go back to what I said before about Power Rangers Season 2 and on Kamen Rider Black RX. We need more civilian characters out on the field helping out. And also, the other thing is, what if all three siblings were Kamen Riders? That would have been so great, all three family members being Kamen Riders. Maybe the Sahara family wouldn't have suffered such a tragic fate if Kotaro's younger brother and sister were able to transform as well instead of just him. But it is what it is. But it'd be great if she, and it'd be even cooler. Just saying, Toei, just hear me out. It'd be even cooler if you made Sakura not only a Kamen Rider, but if it somehow turned out that she was the secondary writer this season, because I know 2 seasons ago you had Yaiba become a Kamen Rider, and not just a Kamen Rider, but as a tertiary writer. But then next season, May was robbed. Okay, May was robbed last season. You at least owe us Sakura becoming a Kamen Rider, and maybe make her the secondary writer. Just saying. But moving right along. So they come up with a plan on how to try to find the dead man, and hopefully retrieve the other missing Vice. And of course, a plan that they might have is to use Logan Paul to be the other to be a bait. And of course, well, they put a vote on it just like they did in Stargirl, but of course, George, who I love, my favorite character in this season, is seemingly doing a dance, and of course, Hiromi asks, "What are you doing?" He's like, I'm practicing wringing out the traitor's neck." And of course, he makes a really terrified look on his face because what's coming. And I just love the fact that George wants to personally wring out someone's neck. And given the fact that he works out in the previous episode, he's actually pretty ripped. Let's keep it 100. He's pretty ripped. And he could wring someone's neck out. So props to you, George. You keep being my favorite character this season. So of course, they go to the bathhouse and ask Logan Paul to volunteer his services to be bait in order to bring out the dead man. And of course, George shows up, tries to pull a prank. Daiji's not a fan of it, but of course, Logan Paul wants to atone for his actions and agrees to do it. So of course, later that night, George is taking a bath, and of course, George being George, you got to be the one. You got to be the one rooster amongst the ducks. I would use I don't want to use a different word for rooster because this is a family channel, but this is just hilarious. God damn it! I love this guy. So the next day, Logan Paul says he's sick and tired of being a contract holder, and he's going to destroy his Vice, and he's live streaming this. So of course the dead men have to show up in order to interfere. And I love how you get both Olteca and Julio show up, and you actually get to see what Vice Temps they use. So Olteca is a squid and Julio is a wolf, and I can't help but think, first of all, Julio being a wolf, he has a beetle horn on his head, so it's kind of weird that he's a wolf, all things considered. But I want to take a moment to appreciate that in the original Kamen Rider. Hold on, give me a second. In the original Kamen Rider, two generals from Shocker were Colonel Zol, who becomes a Wolfman, and Dr. Shinigami, who becomes Ika. It makes me wonder if Aguilar, if she becomes a dead man, she will also be based off of a Shocker general. But nevertheless, I do find it interesting that this is the motif they're going with. So of course, they the two of them, they summon their Gift Juniors, because that's their names, Gift Juniors, and of course, Revy and Vice show up to fight them off, and Logan Paul is still live streaming this conflict, so more publicity to the bathhouse, so that's awesome. So of course, Julio fights against Revi while Olteca fights Vice, and Julio is really dominating the fight with his gun. But then the two of them, Revi and Vice, they both reconnect, and they go into their Kuga lion Vice stamp. And I love that Vice is actually doing the Kuga pose right here, while Revi he does appear to look like he's the amazing form, but I'm still not a fan of how Revi's rider forms. They don't change color schemes. They just stay in that same Trix yogurt pink color. That's the best way I could describe that shade of pink. Trix yogurt pink. Like, remember how the Trix Rabbit had his own yogurt brand in addition to cereal? Well, like, I remember like one half of the yogurt was pink, the other was a different color depending on what flavor you got. This reminds me of Trix yogurt. And I'm not a fan of it because, I mean, okay, I like it with this base form because, pink Venom, I get it. But the fact that every single form maintains this color scheme, I'm not a fan of that. So all of the real estate in the form changes falls onto Vice. And of course, so they try to use their remix form, but because Vice is in front, they turn into a giant kitty. And of course, they switch positions and try it again. And this time they actually become what appears to be a shield liger from Zoids. Yep, that's right. For those of you who remember Zoids, this freaking looks like the shield liger. And of course, he starts chomping down on Olteca, spewing out ink like this is an episode of Samurai Jack, where instead of spewing blood, they spew out oil because all of Aku's minions are robotic, so they could get away with visceral violence on a kids show. But yes, but this is ink instead of. And I swear to God, I feel like they're ripping off my Kamen Rider fan fiction this scene because you know, like, I had my own. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I had my own fan fiction for 50th Kamen Rider where the main character is a clone of both Takashi Hongo and Dr. Shinigami. So he almost looks like Takashi, but with white hair and green veins on his face, and he becomes a squid-based Kamen Rider where they would use like the gimmick toy I came up with was called Jeanette Ink. Get it? Jeanette Ink, because he's a squid. And I feel like this season is doing a lot to rip off my fanfic. Okay, here's what I think actually happened. 2019 at Japan World Heroes, I told Mr. S my fanfic, and he was live streaming. Toei saw that live stream, and they tried to bastardize my fan fiction. I still would rather have a Kamen Rider based on, you know, like a Giorno Giovanna sort of thing. But anyways, moving right along. And of course, Olteca does have explosive devices that he can throw at his enemies. But with a powerful roar, Revice line formation is able to fight it off. And he looks so beautiful in this scene. It's so amazing. And you know the funny thing is, I'm also rewatching Hunter x Hunter, and at the time I was watching this episode, during this scene while Hunter x Hunter's playing the background, we actually do see that lion chimera ant having a flashback of when he was an actual lion. So this is kind of appropriate timing. But moving right along, so right when they're about to finish off the dead man, they get someone showing up from right behind and then knocks them aside. Turns out that the Fennec soldiers that were waiting outside have been completely taken out, including George. And of course, I'm very depressed by this because I love George. And he immediately throws Vice up in the air, crashing through the ceiling. And that's where the episode ends. That is episode 5, Rider Reformation, Who is the Traitor? So here are my thoughts on the episode. I wish Sakura was the second writer of the series, but it is very likely that that is not going to be the case. And there's a strong possibility she won't even become a writer altogether, and that really upsets me, given that May was robbed last season. With that said, it feels a little obvious that it would be Hiromi, who is this second writer, which according to scans is called Kamen Rider Evil, but I'm not going to hold confirmation until we see the next episode and we get an actual name drop in the show. With that said, I really want Daiji to be the second writer because he actually he's trying to earn the right to be the second writer. But it'd be interesting for Daiji if Sakura really did become the second writer instead of him. And then he'll become the tertiary writer. But, if Hiromi becomes the second writer, I want to see how this plays out. Other than that, I do find it interesting that the original Logan Paul fight was really short. And it's good because, we want to build a setup to introduce this new writer because they didn't just steal one Vice stamp, they stole 2 Vice stamps. And also, I don't think we saw the Gorilla Vice stamp being used yet. So let's see how that plays out because, I'm a huge Forze fan. The fighting was really good, not going to lie. We got more of George being awesome. But, this episode is... I give this episode a 9. There's very little to complain about while also having quite a number of things to complain about. My biggest complaint being I want Sakura to not be useless. I want her to be a writer, okay? So, what do you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What'd you think of the episode? Let's go to the comments. So, YouTube, Facebook, what'd you thought of the episode? We will be reading your comments live. So, here we go. By the pricking of my thumb, by the pricking of my thumbs, Kamen Rider Evil this way comes. Yes. What's Kamen's ride? What's ride is common? A kick fly through the filthy air. Okay. I wonder if Bond will be a recurring character. Who knows? George choking his rubber chicken in the bath, and nothing odd or wrong here. Okay. Well, if you're gonna be playing chess, you better not be beating anyone's bishop. It is just me, or does it seem a bit early to be wrecking 2 of the villainous trio? Yeah, depends, to be honest. As long as only one of them dies by the 13th episode, that's fine. But killing them, as long as they don't both die off early, it's kind of weird how in Kamen Rider Ghost that old dude is the main villain, very noticeably the main villain, and then he's gone in 13 episodes, and then oh no, Alon was supposed to be the main villain, but nope, it was his brother. Nope, Alon's a tertiary writer. So, there's a lot of mixing up going on. I really hope they don't pull a Ghost Sager where you have a different villain group every 13 episodes, and then have a final villain in the last 5. Just saying. Mondras says hello. Hi, how are you, Mondras? Am I a traitor? You could be. I mean, you're pretty suspicious. Parathamesh says hi. He has a new podcast that's being released. Okay, then check it out. He's a regular, so I have my faith in him. I am waiting to see SPD Yellow Ranger Lightning figure soon, which will complete the SPD team, even with Cat Ranger 2. Did they make a Cat Ranger? I have no idea. I literally just got Bridge, and that puts me at 2 with Doggy Kruger, but I'm not planning on capturing every single member of every single team because I'm just not that into collecting Lightning figures as much as certain other members of my team are. But it is what it is. But Bridge Carson is my favorite Ranger from that season, so I really want to collect him. and I finally found one. I make a big deal out of not buying things online. I want to actually find them in the stores. It took me a while to find Adam, my favorite Ranger of all time, but at least I found both of them. It's kind of weird. I have a reputation of being a Blue Ranger fan, yet two of my most favorite Rangers are Green Rangers, so it's kind of weird. Well, technically one's green and black, but he does become a Blue Ranger for one episode, so but I consider him a Green Ranger more than anything else. I don't care if he becomes the Red Ranger in Operation Overdrive. Okay. Okay. So, hi, I'm a YouTuber, and you and your company, Heartless Evil Monsters, say hi to the audience. There is some irony in that. By the way, ding the bell icon because of the ding the bell icon. More women writers. Rider family. Yes, exactly. Hashtags. Hopefully you can interview Russell Lawrence. Okay, I mean, it's not up to me. It's not up to me. It's up to our producer and Lawrence himself. If he wants to be interviewed, more power to him, and we'd be happy to interview him. I feel they just put actors in a room with George and just roll cameras. Yeah, they could do that. Imagine if he just shot George in the bathhouse there and then, I would not like that. For one, it would contaminate the bath. Two, George is the best character. I prefer Sentai's Purple Wolf. Floss Pink, I'd say for Revi Kuga. Yeah, but the thing is, again, I am not a fan of the fact that, he maintains the same three colors in the scheme with every form change. Like, I like how Saber, at least he's red, yellow, blue, red, cyan, red. But even with 01, you got red for tiger, you got blue for shark, pink for falcon, and yes, we have a male pink Kamen Rider in the Reiwa era, so that's cool. Okay. The way the stamps and advanced stamps work, I'm reminded of Forze. Yes, the whole last chance. He might earn through sheer determination the evil belt and come out victorious, just dripping in his own blood first scene. Yeah. I mean, look, Nago from Kiva kept gaining and losing his rights to use the Ixa belt, so that's a thing. But I do want him to earn the right to use the belt. But I'm just saying the whole humility thing, like Goto from Kamen Rider O's, I think that it would just work for his character if he showed that humility by letting Sakura become the second rider. I like your shirt. Thank you so much. I like my shirt too. Let's see. Should Deca Ranger and Go Kaiger cast must be invited for PMC 2022? Yeah, invite them all. Invite all of them. Waiting to see a panel for Resoldier and Dino Fury cast in the future. Well, hopefully the Resoldier cast will agree to come to PMC, and maybe they could do a team up. Maybe Tessa Rao and the actor who played Toa could do a Dylan Dutch. Stay safe and take care of yourself. And that is the last comment. So that's it for the episode. And of course, I'm TimeRider Zero. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, because ending the bell icon, because the algorithms are not friendly to us. They made a contract with the dead men. I'm pretty sure they did. As for me, I'm be sure to check out my Twitch because I am playing Metroid right now. But yes, if you like our content, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Morphin Network. And of course, we will have an episode of Ranger Podcast Live later today, where we will review episode 15 of Power Rangers Dino Fury. And of course, we got this show for Kamen Rider, that show for Power Rangers. We got Super Sentai Hero Special for Zenkaiger, and of course Ranger Comic Live for the Boom Studio Comics. So we have a lot of shows, and of course, most recently we interviewed David Bacon, who played Orko in Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers. So be sure to check that out. And of course, if you want to see more of my content, be sure to follow me at on Instagram at chrono_cosplay and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto, where of course I've been playing Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance. And after that, I'm going to try to play, Metroid, either Metroid 2, AM2R, or Samus Returns, if there's a way to stream any of those on Twitch. And then Super Metroid, which is Metroid 3. And then Metroid 4, Metroid Fusion, the same way I'm doing Metroid Zero Mission. And finally, I will be streaming Metroid 5 Dread for the Nintendo Switch, which I got yesterday, and I'm super happy I got it. I got the exclusive pins. And of course, I want to thank you all for watching. You've been a lovely audience, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in a few hours. Bye.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.